The Force will be with us always. Always. And I'm Jessica Chobot, and this is Nerdist News. For a while now, we've lived in the post-Lucas era of the Star Wars franchise, and with The Force Awakens barely more than a week away, oh holy crap, that's so soon, you guys! It's even harder to imagine that long time ago when the future of the Star Wars franchise was a great big question mark. But if you try your hardest, you may recall the two big Star Wars projects we were most excited about, Star Wars Underworld and, yeah, Star Wars 1313, and now they may be coming back from the dead. Woo! Play that game so bad! For those Padawans too young to recall, Star Wars Underworld was a live-action premium cable TV series announced in 2005 that George Lucas was developing to follow up the animated Star Wars Clone Wars. Well, more than developing, he actually had 100 episodes written by a secret staff with another 300 planned before abruptly canceling it after he wasn't able to build a high-tech studio in which to self-produce the show. The idea was for Star Wars Underworld to be a darker, grittier show similar to Deadwood, one of my favorites, with a 1940s noir vibe that was alternately described as a drama with laughs and action, a Star Wars take on The Godfather, and Empire on steroids, whatever that last one means. The show was set to take place on the Coruscant Underworld between episodes 3 and 4, and for all we know, it may have been George Lucas's return to the form. But it was not to be, as mention of it slowly faded away and ceased altogether once Disney bought Lucasfilm in 2012. But wait! According to an interview with Slash Film's Peter Sciretta, Kathleen Kennedy and the new Star Wars team haven't given up on Underworld at all. In fact, they're currently putting a ton of time into poring over the scripts and figuring out how they might utilize them. Could this be the Star Wars Netflix series we've heard rumors about? Could the criminal underworld between episode 3 and episode 4 grow out of the upcoming Rogue One, which shares a similar timeline? I don't know about you guys, but a sexy, violent Star Wars show gets me in a bit of a tizzy. Steamy droid makeout scenes a la Game of Thrones, a brutal Gungan decapitation a la Game of Thrones. Look, can we just have a Star Wars Game of Thrones? Pretty please. But what about Star Wars 1313, the M-rated Boba Fett origin story game that looked like Uncharted, set in the lowest levels of the Coruscant Underworld? Well, Kennedy mentioned that one too. Yes, which immediately reminded us that Amy Hennig, awesome video game writer and director for the Uncharted series, is actually working on a Star Wars project right now. Could she be reshaping some kind of rebooted Star Wars 1313? Could it have tied in anyway to the Boba Fett movie Josh Trank had been developing? We're gonna guess yeah, which is awesome! An Amy Hennig Star Wars game is thrilling enough, but did you guys see the Star Wars 1313 gameplay footage? It looks like it crawled directly out of our collective imaginations, and oh holy god, I hope this rumor is true! Unless The Force Awakens somehow magically sucks, it sounds like we're in for a whole lot of Star Wars amazingness in the near future, and it's great to hear that Lucasfilm isn't completely ditching old George's pet projects, which, lucky for us, sounded pretty stellar anyway. But what do you guys think? Would you watch a crime family saga or play a bounty hunter game set in Coruscant's Underworld? Who do you think could lead a Star Wars TV show? Let's discuss. And a huge congratulations to Chelsea Butler, who won our holiday gift guide giveaway. Woo! Chelsea's getting thousands of dollars of awesome nerdy goodness, including Sphero's BB-8, Mondo's Back to the Future vinyl set, and a Game of Thrones Iron Throne construction set from McFarlane Toys. Happy holidays, Chelsea! Love, Santa, and Nerdist. Mostly Nerdist. Pretty much all Nerdist. Just saying. Dan, you've got Star Wars goodness over on the Dan Cave. Am I right?
You are right, Jess. This week I'm talking about the Star Wars sequel that almost happened, but then didn't happen, but then kind of did. There's a universe out there where Star Wars bombed in 1977, so instead of Empire Strikes Back, we would have gotten this weird low-budget sequel with like mud wrestling and sexual tension and all sorts of weirdness. Check it out on the Dan Cave. I explain everything you need to know.
And did you check out the video Smart Girls did with EA?
Yes, I did. It's super cool. It's called Smart Girls Build with The Sims 4. And what they did is they took smart girls from all over the country. This first episode is about a 13-year-old girl named Celeste, who's a very passionate person who's very into dance. They took her to the studio where they actually make The Sims. They took her to EA, showed her how to sort of harness her passion within the confines of the game. Really cool stuff. Check it out at amysmartgirls.com.
Very nice. And after that, you can head on over to Nerdist.com for even more Nerdist news.
Ooh, I like more.